In this video today, we're going to be discussing the importance of your income being your number one tool for generating wealth, including your job, because a lot of times we get carried away in thinking that only side hustles, entrepreneurship is going to make you become wealthy in life, and that's not necessarily true. You can have an income from your job and develop wealth for your future if you take the right steps. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. So stay tuned while I go over practical tips in how investing and maximizing your income's potential can lead you to future wealth. See you soon. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. The Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial freedom and our success. Now, as I mentioned before, we are going to be looking at using your income, even from your full-time job, to generate wealth for the future. We're going to be looking at practical tips, and we're going to be looking at baby steps introduced by Dave Ramsey at the end of this video if we have time, or I might do it in the follow-up video for this week, so stay tuned for that as well. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, a lot of times, especially as influencers or YouTubers giving out information or creating content, we tend to focus on creating side hustles to generate wealth. And while yes, it is good to have a side hustle or to eventually transition into business ownership, it is not the only way to develop and to create wealth. Once you have an income, and you manage that income correctly and strategically, then you can be guaranteed of having success in creating wealth. Now, we're going to be looking at this test, but first and foremost, of course, you know that I'm going to be defining a few things so that we make the playing field level, make sure everyone understands the content or the material that I will be discussing today. So first, what is an income? And yes, some person might say, hey, Sean, I know what an income is, but let's define it. An income is money that you get from any source like a job or a business. Now, for the purposes of this video and to keep things clean, we're going to be talking about legal sources of income, all right? So as I said, jobs, it can be a business, it can be any side hustle, but once it is money coming into you as a cash flow on a reasonably regular basis. Now, what's the importance of an income? An income is critical in sustaining your lifestyle, getting your needs, and for fueling your wants as well. It allows you to cover your needs like food, shelter, clothing, as well as for investing, paying your debts, and for saving for the future. So now that we have gotten that out of the way, we look at the importance of income. We have looked at what is income, and we have looked at the sources of income. Now let us look at why your income is the number one tool for generating your wealth. The first thing is that an income is critical to be used as capital for generating a business or any other income generating tool. Now, if it is that you do not have an income, then when the opportunity presents itself to invest or to start a business, you will not have the ability to take advantage of that opportunity. I have always said that success is equal to opportunity plus ability. The other important thing from your income is that it is critical for savings. Now, a portion of your income must always and consistently be going towards your savings, because then again, as I mentioned, you will need it for capital investing or any emergencies that might present themselves. I have said in previous videos, and I've said it repeatedly, that it takes only one medical emergency to completely wipe you out financially. Therefore, you must have some amount of savings. I have also advised in the past that you need to have 3 to 6 months on average of your expenses for you to have a cushion for any eventualities in life. Simply how you do that, you must have a list of all your expenses, things that you must spend on a monthly basis, like your rent, groceries, gas, insurance, all those necessities that you must spend on a monthly basis. When you have that total, multiply it by anywhere from 3 to 6 to know what your goal is in terms of savings. The other important thing for having your income is debt repayment. Now, this is one area where Dave Ramsey comes in significantly. He believes that everything should be purchased with cash. And though I might not believe in him entirely 100%, I do have some key takeaways from especially his 7 baby steps towards financial freedom and success. Some persons might argue that it is impossible to live without debt. Some persons might disagree. I myself have incurred debt. I am still having debt in my life, and I am paying them down with the Dave Ramsey 7 steps. Later on in this video or the following video, I will tell you which step I am currently at in his 7 steps program. The other importance of an income is for your investment opportunities. Remember I said that success equals ability plus opportunity. Now there are several tools out there, especially one known as your retirement funding, whether it be your 401k or your pension plan for other industries or cultures. You need to be investing as high an amount as possible towards these amounts. Remember I've said before, your kids are not your retirement plan. You need to set things in place for your own retirement, or you will not be able to sustain or to afford a comfort style after you retire. Now, you can go more aggressively in terms of these savings if you plan to retire earlier than usual. So an income is critical for investing opportunities for the future. And of course, there are other things like real estate, stock options that you can invest in. But again, without an income, you're unable to do these things. Now, remember, my friends, what is critical is that even though you have an income, it is what you do with the income. If you are tied down by expenses, for example, high interest debts, then you don't have enough disposable income for you to be strategic or for you to invest in other things that can generate more wealth. But your income, no matter how small it is, can lead to wealth generation. Now, here are some strategies real quick for you to increase your income and therefore increase your future wealth. The first thing is to invest in your education and skills. There are certain professions that you might be in that will require you to seek higher education or to get certification for your skills. Certain technical areas, especially if you are going to be migrating or moving to, or you live in a first world country, then they normally place emphasis on certification for those skills. If, for example, you are in Jamaica and you plan to migrate to Canada or the United States, but Canada in particular, then it is advised that you get your certification in your skilled area, whether it be plumbing or electrical installation or mechanical engineering. Go and get those certifications and you will be able to demand a higher income or earning for the skills that you possess. I've also said to you that many things that you might be doing casually or as favors to persons, yes, you can keep doing favors for persons, but if you have a skill, you need to monetize that skill. I have the gift of chatting, and I have decided that I'm going to be monetizing this chatting skill that I have by coming on YouTube, giving counseling sessions, or doing public speakings, because if I can chat, I need to get money for my chatting. If you can do plumbing or electrical work or mechanical engineering, if you know how to fix a car, then you need to monetize that skill. Now, serious point here. I am not saying that everyone needs to go to a college or to incur expenses in getting a higher education. Not everyone needs to go, not everyone has to go. I personally am not placing any pressure on my son for him to attain a higher college or university degree. It's what he wants or what area he's choosing to go in. There are certain areas that do not require you to be seeking higher education or certification, and you can maximize your opportunity there. So it's not a must. Just know that it applies to whatever your plans for your future are. The second way to maximize your income is to negotiate higher salary and benefits. Once you're going into that interview for a new job, have your self-esteem and do not be insecure. Know your worth, know your value to negotiate a higher income or to negotiate the highest possible range that you can get for your position. That means, therefore, that you are to go into your interview prepared. Do your research before going to that interview to find out the salary range or scale that is paid for the position that you're applying for. There are certain websites or apps like Glassdoor, for example, that will give you examples of the salaries being paid to persons in the position in the company that you're going for an interview. Ask around as well, do your networking to find out the rough amount or the estimated amount rather of the position paid that you're going for, and ask for the highest amount. The third way to increase your income is to get a side hustle. Remember I said before that side hustles are not the only way to become wealthy, but it is one of the ways. And if you have a 9 to 5 job and then you get a side hustle along with that, then it increases your opportunity to become wealthy because it increases your income. If you have one side hustle, try to get another to make it two. Multiple streams of income is very critical for wealth creation and sustenance. Where one industry or area might fall off for one period, it is good to be diversified so that the other area will make up for that shortfall in income that you might be having throughout that period. So do not be hesitant in developing other side hustles, especially if you know that your 9 to 5 job gives you a certain amount of flexibility, or the current side hustles that you are doing allows you additional time for you to invest in other areas. The fourth area in increasing your income is going to be a horse that I have flagged repeatedly. And I have been saying this in maybe the past 3, 4, 5 videos, that you need to be budgeting and doing expense management. You will not be able to generate wealth and sustain it if you are allowing your income or your money to direct and dictate where it goes to. You need to determine before you get that income where it is that you will be spending it on or what you'll be saving, because the more organized and the more detailed you are is the more you're increasing your chances to get and remain wealthy. So I'm going to be looking at now some quick ways in terms of how you manage your income to ensure wealth building and creation, and more importantly, the sustenance of that wealth. The first thing we're looking at is to automate your savings and investment. And I've said this before, if you know that you are not disciplined enough that when you get your income or your pay or the cash flow that comes in from your side hustles, then you need to automate it and lock it away to a savings. Have a direct deposit or transfer from your main account that your income is coming into to another account that is not very accessible, does not have a debit card, checks, or credit card attached to it. So therefore you are least inclined to be spending that amount. The other important thing is to prioritize your debt repayment, and we're going to be looking at later on or in the next video to get rid of especially your highest debts, because the more debts that you have, it is limiting your income and your ability to invest it further or to save more. The next area, which is at the third I think we're at, is to live below your means. A lot of persons like to live above their means. They like to fake it until they make it. They like to impress the Joneses, or it is that they are not having a budget, so they might not even be realizing that you are overspending on a monthly or weekly basis. Therefore, I recommend do your expenses and income. You have a rough idea, or not even a rough idea. You know exactly how much you're earning for any pay period, and you know exactly how much you're spending. Avoid increasing or inflating your lifestyle the more your income increases. That is sure to put you into problems. If as your income increases, then you start to increase the expenses of your lifestyle, then you are erasing the progress that you have made. Find options that will have you living comfortably, yes, but not spending exorbitantly on things that especially you do not need. I personally, for example, yes, good example. I realize that if I'm going to be posting 2 to 3 videos on a weekly basis, where am I going to be getting so much clothes to wear? Guess what I did? I created a uniform. I wear this thing all the time through. I don't have to be spending on clothing for these videos. I can't afford that right now. I might not even want to spend on so much clothing if I could even afford it. I have a uniform. You can't tell me if I'm wearing the same shirt 2, 3, 10 times in a row. I therefore reduce spending in that way because, hey, ain't nobody got that money to be spending on clothing for these videos. So therefore, it's the same thing with you. Go with things that are not flashy, that you can conserve or restrict your spending so that you can accumulate more wealth for the future. The fourth and final advice to you is to seek professional advice. And I've mentioned in previous videos that I have stopped going into business adventures or to investing without obtaining good advice from persons who are experienced in the area and can give me proper advice in terms of guidance as to what to do and what not to do. They can save me certain mistakes. Some persons might think that, hey, I do not have the money to invest in professional advice, but hey, but you do have the money to waste upon failures, don't you? So which is better? Pay a smaller amount for the advice from persons, or to lose significant amounts in failed business adventures? Do the math, guys. Get the professional advice. Also, remember as well that professional advice does not have to come at a cost. You are right here now. The most that you're paying for this advice is the cost for your internet connectivity. I've said it before, the internet, especially YouTube, has totally revolutionized learning and education. So therefore take advantage of it, especially AI like ChatGPT. Once you create your question, anything you ask, it will generate the answers for you. So take advantage of what is available. And there you have it, my advice on income being your greatest wealth generating tool. Now, in the interest of time, I'm not going to be going to the 7 baby steps by Dave Ramsey, a quick review of those. I am going to be covering it in the following video. So look out for that video in a couple days time that will go through those guarantees, sequential baby steps that will guarantee your future success. Now, as usual, my friends, if you have found any part of this content to be beneficial, 1 point, half a point, quarter point, just subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so that you can be made aware when I release new content as we grow towards our financial success. Thank you for clicking on this video and see you in the next one.